My beloved child, today I am reaching out to you because I see the fear that grips your heart like a heavy chain, holding you back from the freedom I want you to experience. I understand the uncertainty that keeps you from moving forward when I whisper my purpose for your life. I know how overwhelming it can be, and I want you to know that you are not alone in feeling this way. Are you ignoring my call to serve because you're afraid of what you might have to give up? Are you letting the fear of sacrifice keep you from stepping into the amazing life I have called you to? Are you afraid of losing comfort, relationships, or security? I know what it's like to hold on tightly to what feels safe, to fear losing what you love, but I want to walk with you beyond that fear. Today, I need you to stay with me, to listen with your heart until the very end, because the truth I am about to reveal could be the key to unlocking your deepest prayers. This truth could change everything for you. I don't want you to miss out on what could bring you the peace and fulfillment you've been longing for. Missing even a moment of this message could mean missing the one thing that might unlock everything you've been praying for. I want to lead you out of fear and into the fullness of the life I have for you. A life filled with joy, purpose, and my unending love. But to do that, you need to hear a difficult truth. When I called Moses to lead my people out of Egypt, he stood before me full of fear. He doubted himself, saying, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" Words that reflected his deep fear and insecurity, as it says in Exodus 3 verses 11. Moses felt small and inadequate, just like you might feel sometimes. My child, I see that same hesitation in you sometimes, and I understand it completely. My beloved, I see the same hesitation in you. Moses was afraid of what I was asking of him. He feared the sacrifice it would take, leaving the safety of Midian, facing his past, speaking before a powerful ruler. He was afraid, just as you are now. You worry about the cost, about what you might lose, about how difficult the journey might be. You wonder if you are enough, if you have what it takes, and you feel that fear deep within you. But I see so much more in you. I see the strength in you, like a seed ready to grow, even if you cannot see it yet. But just as I assured Moses that I would be with him, I assure you now, I am with you every step of the way. The real question is, will you trust me enough to let go of what is comfortable? Will you take that leap of faith, even if it means leaving behind the familiar? I promise you, my beloved, I will never let you fall. The first hard truth you need to know today is this. True faith requires stepping into the unknown. My beloved, the life I have for you is not one of mere ease and complacency. It is a life full of purpose, meaning, and deep fulfillment. A life where each moment holds significance, and each step takes you closer to the beautiful plan I have designed just for you. But you cannot experience the fullness of my blessings unless you trust me enough to step into the unknown, even when it scares you. I know it's hard, but I am right here with you, holding your hand. Remember Peter, who stepped out of the boat and walked on water towards me, as it says in Matthew 14:29. He had to leave the safety of the boat, the comfort of what was familiar, and take that first uncertain step onto the waves. Can you feel the fear that Peter must have felt, yet the hope that pushed him to take that first step? Can you imagine how terrified he must have been? Yet he did it because he trusted me. And in that moment, the impossible became real. And for a moment, Peter walked on water. He experienced the miraculous because he was willing to sacrifice his comfort and trust me. My child, I am calling you to step out of the boat. I am calling you to let go of the fear that keeps you anchored to what feels safe, to release the things that are holding you back, whether it's the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown, from the extraordinary plans I have for you. There is so much I want to show you, so many miracles I want you to experience, but you must be willing to step out in faith. I know what you're thinking. But what if I fail? What if I lose everything? My dear one, let me tell you a truth that the enemy doesn't want you to know. When you sacrifice for me, you never lose. It may seem like you are giving something up, but I am a God of restoration. Whatever you lay down for me, I will return to you in ways far beyond what you can imagine, whether it's courage to speak, peace in your heart, or relationships restored in beautiful ways. Remember Job? He lost everything, his wealth, his family, even his health. He was broken, devastated, and felt like he had nothing left. Yet in the midst of his pain, Job held on to me. But Job never turned away from me. Despite all his suffering, he stayed faithful, and because of that, I restored everything to him, twice over, as it says in Job 42 verse 10. My beloved, your faithfulness is seen, and I will never abandon you. The enemy wants you to focus on what you might lose, but I want you to see what you will gain. I am a God who rewards those who seek me earnestly, as it says in Hebrews 11:6. The sacrifices you make for my sake are never in vain. Let me ask you something. Are you afraid of what people will think if you fully follow my call? Are you scared that people may not understand, that they may judge you or even distance themselves from you? Are you worried about losing relationships, about being judged, about standing out? I know how much you long to be accepted, but I promise you that what I have for you is greater than any human approval. My child, I know it's not easy. The world may not always understand your devotion to me. They might mock you, turn away from you, or question why you would give so much. I know it hurts, and I know how much you long to belong, but I promise you that what you gain in me far outweighs what you lose. But remember what I said in Matthew 10 verse 39. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. The sacrifices you make for me are not losses. They are investments in eternity. When you choose to serve me, when you choose to follow my calling despite the fear, you are gaining a life that is rich in purpose. A life that bears fruit not just for today, but for eternity. Think about Abraham, who I called to leave everything he knew, his home, his family, all his security, and go to a place I promised to show him, as it says in Genesis 12:1. Imagine the fear and uncertainty Abraham must have felt, yet the hope that pushed him forward. He had no idea where he was going, no guarantees of what the future held, but he trusted me anyway. That kind of faith is what opens doors to blessings beyond measure. Abraham didn't know where he was going. He had no guarantees, no roadmap, only my promise. And yet he obeyed. He stepped out in faith, and because of his willingness to sacrifice, I made him the father of many nations. My beloved, the blessings I have for you are beyond anything you can imagine, but they are on the other side of your fear. They are on the other side of your willingness to sacrifice. If you've been feeling a stirring in your heart, a gentle nudge to do more, to step into the calling I have for you, I encourage you not to ignore it. Don't let fear be the reason you stay where you are. Don't let the fear of sacrifice keep you from the blessings I have in store for you. If this message is touching your heart, if you feel me speaking to you right now, I invite you to subscribe. Let us stay connected, so that each day I can remind you of my love, my guidance, and my promises for your life. Together we can face the fears, the sacrifices, and step into the beautiful purpose I have planned for you. The second truth you need to know is this. The enemy will use fear to paralyze you. He knows that if he can keep you afraid, if he can keep you focused on what you might lose, you will never step into the fullness of what I have for you. Fear is his weapon, but my perfect love drives out fear, as it says in 1 John 4:18. When you focus on my love, when you remember that I am with you, fear loses its power. Remember Gideon, who was hiding from his enemies when I called him to lead Israel, as it says in Judges 6. Gideon felt inadequate and afraid, but I saw in him a strength he didn't yet see in himself. He was afraid, he doubted himself, but I saw something in Gideon that he didn't see in himself. I called him a mighty warrior, not because of who he was at that moment, but because of who I knew he could be if he trusted me. My beloved, I am calling you a mighty warrior. I see the incredible potential within you, the kind of strength that you might not even recognize yet. You are braver, stronger, and more capable than you know, and I am here to show you just how much you can do when you lean on me. But you will never see it if you let fear keep you from stepping into my calling. You may be thinking, But I'm not strong enough. I'm not capable. My child, I do not call those who are already equipped. I equip those who I call. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to trust me so I can mold you, guide you, and make you ready. When I called David, he was just a shepherd boy. When I called Esther, she was just an orphan. When I called Mary, she was just a young girl. None of them felt ready. None of them felt capable. But they trusted me, and I used them to change the world. I am calling you now. I know you may feel small, insignificant, unworthy, but I do not see you as the world sees you. I see your heart, I see your potential, and I see the incredible things you can do when you allow me to work through you. I know it feels daunting, but remember, you are never alone. I am always by your side. Will you trust me? Will you step out in faith, even if it means sacrifice? The third truth you need to know is this. The sacrifice I am asking of you is nothing compared to the glory that will be revealed. My beloved, the fear of sacrifice is normal, but I need you to understand that anything you give up for me will come back to you multiplied. Whatever you think you're losing, I will replace with something far more beautiful and lasting. In Mark 10, verse 29 to 30, I said, "Truly I tell you, no one who has left home or brothers or sisters or mother or father or children or fields for me and the gospel will fail to receive 100 times as much in this present age." I am not asking you to give up what you love without reason. I am asking you to trust that what I have for you is far greater. I am asking you to believe that the life I have planned for you, the blessings, the purpose, the joy, is worth any sacrifice you might make. Think of the Israelites standing before the Promised Land. They had a choice: to trust me and enter into the land I had promised them, or to let fear hold them back. Many of them let fear win, and they missed out on the blessings I had prepared for them. My child, I do not want you to miss out. I do not want you to spend your life wandering in the wilderness because you were too afraid to step into what I had for you. The sacrifices I ask of you are never meant to harm you. They are meant to free you from what is holding you back, to prepare your heart, and to position you to receive the incredible blessings I have already set aside for you. These sacrifices are like pruning a tree, not to hurt it, but to help it grow stronger and bear more fruit. If this message has touched your heart, if you feel that it's time to step out in faith, I invite you to like this video. Your support helps spread my word, helps reach others who need to hear this message. Together, let us build a community of faith, a community that lifts each other up and encourages one another to step into the calling I have placed on each of your lives. And finally, I invite you to comment below, writing "I trust your call." Let this be your declaration today, a step of faith that shows your commitment to following my calling, even if it means sacrifice. Know that as you do this, you are not alone. Others are on this journey too. Others are making the same commitment, and together you will grow, you will flourish, and you will experience the fullness of my love. I also encourage you to share this message with your family and friends, so they too can feel my love and be part of this growing circle of faith. My beloved child, I know that the fear of sacrifice can be overwhelming. I know that stepping into the unknown can feel like too much to bear. But I want you to know that I am with you. I have always been with you, and I will never leave you. The sacrifices I ask of you are not to take away from you, but to give to you. To give you a life that is full, a life that is rich in purpose, a life that glorifies me. Trust me, take that brave step of faith, and watch as I transform every sacrifice you make into something beautiful beyond your imagination. I will be with you every step of the way, guiding you, lifting you, and loving you. Stay with me, and together we will walk into the beautiful future I have prepared for you. Amen.